Donald Trump literally says he will be a dictator on day one. All that and more now on Graf's Grievances. He is no longer playing coy. Former President Donald Trump saying overnight that he would be a dictator on day one if he wins the presidential election next year. The comments from the leading contender for the Republican presidential nomination shocking despite Trump's extensive history of outlandish comments. While there has long been no doubt that Trump aspires to be a dictator, until now he has managed to control himself and not say so outright. But Trump seemed to take pleasure in bursting through that dam in an interview last night on Sean Hannity. Take a listen.
Under no circumstances, you are promising America tonight, you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
Except
Look,
for?
he's going crazy. Except for day one.
Meaning?
I want to close the border, and I want to drill.
That's not retribution. I'm
gonna be, you know, he keeps, we love this guy. He says, you're not gonna be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one. We're closing the border, and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator,
So to be clear, Trump is telling the world he will be a dictator on day one if re-elected president. As for what happens after day one, we all know Trump doesn't have a great track record of peacefully giving up power. The aspiring dictator currently facing 4 criminal counts over his efforts to overturn the last presidential election and stay in power. And while some may write off Trump's latest comments as more of the same from a truly unhinged man, I really think we need to pause on what Trump has just said. He is, without a doubt, determined to destroy American democracy. And at the most basic level, this means Trump no longer wants us, the American people, to have control over our own lives. In dictatorships, the ruler has total control over everything. Absolute power. Human rights are not only not respected, but the concept does not exist. The dictator, which Trump aspires to be, is not limited in his power by a constitution. There is no due process. If the dictator decides you are guilty, you are guilty. If the dictator wants your head, you are killed. This is the power Trump is telling you he wants and will have on day one if reelected. And as I have discussed in previous videos, unlike during Trump's first administration, he will not be reined in by his political appointees and other Republicans. These people who work to curtail some of Trump's worst impulses have not only been purged from Trump's circle, but the entire Republican Party. Just look at the so-called race to be the Republican presidential nominee next year. Trump is not only leading all the other candidates by about 50 points, but those seeking to challenge him for the nomination almost refuse to say anything bad about him. And while Republican voters might have little concern about a Trump dictatorship, Trump's campaign seems to know that independent voters, who they need to win, could be turned off to the idea. Which explains why, not even 24 hours after Trump's dictator remarks, a super PAC supporting his campaign called President Joe Biden a dictator. But if Biden was actually a dictator, as Trump aspires to be, Biden would throw Trump in jail for the rest of his life and refuse to allow Trump to run for president. That is what dictators do. they jail and, more often than not, murder their opponents. And Trump knows this. His good friend, Vladimir Putin, Russia's leader for the past 23 years, has been credibly accused of jailing, poisoning, and assassinating a long list of people who have challenged his reign. This is the power Trump wants to have. Is that what you want? Thank you for watching Graf's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share. It really helps me grow this channel. And join me tomorrow for more.